This is part 1 of our SC-900 series. To get notified about our future parts, please make sure to subscribe our channel and press the bell icon. To the questions. Question 1. Which score measures an organization's progress in completing actions that help reduce risks associated to data protection and regulatory standards? The correct answer is D. Compliance score. Answer is compliance score. That is D. Microsoft Purview Compliance Manager is a feature in the Microsoft Purview Compliance portal that helps you manage your organization's compliance requirements with greater ease and convenience. Compliance Manager can help you throughout your compliance journey, from taking inventory of your data protection risks to managing the complexities of implementing controls, staying current with regulations and certifications, and reporting to auditors. Question 2. Which Microsoft portal provides information about how Microsoft Cloud Services comply with regulatory standards such as International Organization for Standardization? The correct option is C. Microsoft Service Trust Portal. The Microsoft Service Trust Portal contains details about Microsoft's implementation of controls and processes that protect our cloud services and the customer data therein. Question 3. What do you use to provide real-time integration between Azure Sentinel and another security source? The correct option is D. A connector. To onboard Azure Sentinel, you first need to connect to your security sources. Azure Sentinel comes with a number of connectors for Microsoft solutions, including Microsoft 365 Defender solutions and Microsoft 365 sources, including Office 365, Azure AD, Microsoft Defender for Identity, and Microsoft Cloud App Security, etc. Question 4. What is an example of encryption at rest? The correct option is B. Encrypting a virtual machine disk. Encryption at rest for Platform as a Service customers. Platform as a Service customers' data typically resides in a storage service such as blob storage, but may also be cached or stored in the application execution environment such as a virtual machine. To see the encryption at rest options available to you, examine the data encryption models supporting services table for the storage and application platforms that you use. Question 5. Which 3 statements accurately describe the guiding principles of Zero Trust? Each correct answer presents a complete solution. Note, each correct selection is worth 1 point. The correct options are B, C, and D. That is, use identify as the primary security boundary, always verify the permissions of a user explicitly, and always assume that the user system can be breached. Zero Trust is a security strategy. It is not a product or a service, but an approach in designing and implementing the following set of security principles: verify explicitly, use least privilege access, and assume breach. Question 6. What can you use to provide a user with a 2-hour window to complete an administrative task in Azure? The correct option is A. Azure AD, Privileged Identity Management. Privileged Identity Management provides time-based and approval-based role activation to mitigate the risks of excessive, unnecessary, or misused access permissions on resources that you care about. Here are some of the key features of privileged identity management. Question 7. What is the purpose of Azure AD password protection? The correct option is D, to prevent users from using specific words in their passwords. Azure AD password protection detects and blocks known weak passwords and their variants, and can also block additional weak terms that are specific to your organization. With Azure AD password protection, default global banned password lists are automatically applied to all users in an Azure AD tenant. To support your own business and security needs, you can define entries in a custom banned password list. Question 8. Which Azure AD feature can you use to evaluate group membership and automatically remove users that no longer require membership in a group? The correct option is A. Access reviews. There is no capability to automatically remove user access rights. The whole point of access reviews is that in some cases, automation isn't possible. Azure AD access reviews enable organizations to efficiently manage group memberships, access to enterprise applications, and role assignments. Question 9. Which Azure AD feature can you use to provide just-in-time access to manage Azure resources? The correct option is C. Azure AD Privileged Identity Management. Azure AD PIM provides just-in-time privileged access to Azure AD and Azure resources. Question 10. What can you use to provide threat detection for Azure SQL managed instance? The correct option is C. Microsoft Defender for Cloud. Microsoft Defender for SQL is a Defender plan in Microsoft Defender for Cloud. Microsoft Defender for SQL includes functionality for surfacing and mitigating potential database vulnerabilities and detecting anomalous activities that could indicate a threat to your database. It provides a single go-to location for enabling and managing these capabilities. Question 11. Which Microsoft 365 feature can you use to restrict communication and the sharing of information between members of two departments at your organization? The correct option is C. Information barriers. Information barriers are a Microsoft 365 feature which you can use to restrict communication and the sharing of information between members of two departments at your organization. Question 12. Which three authentication methods can be used by Azure multi-factor authentication? Each correct answer presents a complete solution. Note, each correct selection is worth 1 point. The correct options are A, B, and D. That is text message, Microsoft Authenticator app, and phone call. When users sign in to an application or service and receive an MFA prompt, they can choose from one of their registered forms of additional verification. Users can access My Profile to edit or add verification methods. The following additional forms of verification can be used with Azure AD multi-factor authentication. Question 13. You have an Azure subscription. You need to implement approval-based time-bound role activation. What should you use? The correct option is D. Azure AD Privileged Identity Management. Azure AD Privileged Identity Management is designed specifically for implementing approval-based time-bound role activation in an Azure subscription. PIM allows you to manage and control access to privileged roles in Azure AD, Azure Resources, and Azure AD integrated software as a solution apps. It enables you to elevate access on a just-in-time basis and provides an approval workflow for role activation, which can be restricted to specific time periods. This makes it an ideal choice for implementing the requirements specified in the question. Question 14. Which three authentication methods does Windows Hello for Business support? Each correct answer presents a complete solution. Note, each correct selection is worth 1 point. The correct options are A, B, and C. That is fingerprint, facial recognition, and email verification. Windows Hello in Windows 10 enables users to sign into their device using a PIN. Windows Hello lets your employees use fingerprint or facial recognition as an alternative method to unlock a device. With Windows Hello, authentication happens when the employee provides his or her unique biometric identifier while accessing the device specific Windows Hello credentials. Question 15. Which Azure AD features can you use to restrict Microsoft Intune managed devices from accessing corporate resources? The correct option is C. Conditional Access Policies. When you use conditional access, you can configure your conditional access policies to use the results of your device compliance policies to determine which devices can access your organizational resources. This access control is in addition to and separate from the actions for non-compliance that you include in your device compliance policies. Question 16. What feature in Microsoft Defender for Endpoint provides the first line of defense against cyber threats by reducing the attack surface? The correct option is D. Network protection. Network protection helps protect devices from internet-based events. Network protection is an attack surface reduction capability. Question 17. What are two capabilities of Microsoft Defender for Endpoint? Each correct selection presents a complete solution. Note, each correct selection is worth 1 point. The correct options are A and D, that is automated investigation and remediation, and attack surface reduction. Microsoft Defender for Endpoint offers automatic investigation and remediation capabilities that help reduce the volume of alerts in minutes at scale, while the attack surface reduction set of capabilities provides the first line of defense in the stack. Question 18. Which type of identity is created when you register an application with Azure AD? The correct option is D. A service principal. When you register an application through the Azure portal, an application object and service principal are automatically created in your home directory or tenant. Question 19. Which three tasks can be performed by using Azure AD Identity Protection? Each correct answer presents a complete solution. Note, Each correct selection is worth 1 point. The correct options are B, C, and D. That is, export risk detection to third-party utilities, automate the detection and remediation of identity-based risks, and investigate risks that relate to user authentication. Question 20. Which two types of resources can be protected by using Azure Firewall? Each correct answer presents a complete solution. Note, each correct selection is worth 1 point. The correct options are A and D. That is Azure Virtual Machines and Azure Virtual Networks. Question 21. In the shared responsibility model for an Azure deployment, what is Microsoft solely responsible for managing? The correct option is D, the management of the physical hardware. Question 22. In the Microsoft Cloud Adoption Framework for Azure, which two phases are addressed before the ready phase? Each correct answer presents a complete solution. Note, each correct selection is worth 1 point. The correct options are A and E, that is, plan and define strategy. Question 23. What can you use to scan email attachments and forward the attachments to recipients only if the attachments are free from malware? The correct option is A, Microsoft Defender for Office 365. Question 24. In a hybrid identity model, what can you use to sync identities between Active Directory domain services and Azure AD? The correct option is C, Azure AD Connect. Question 25. Which feature provides the extended detection and response capability of Azure Sentinel? The correct option is C, integration with Microsoft 365 Defender. Question 26. Hotspot. Select the answer that correctly completes the sentence. To the answer area, federation is used to establish dash between organizations. The correct option is a trust relationship. Federation enables the access of services across organizational or domain boundaries by establishing trust relationships between the respective domain's identity provider. Federation is a collection of domains that have established trust. Question 27. Hotspot. Select the answer that correctly completes the sentence. To the answer area, dash provides best practices from Microsoft employees, partners, and customers, including tools and guidance to assist in an Azure deployment. The correct option is the Microsoft Cloud Adoption Framework for Azure. The Cloud Adoption Framework is a collection of documentation, implementation guidance, best practices, and tools that are proven guidance from Microsoft designed to accelerate your cloud adoption journey. Question 28. Hotspot. Select the answer that correctly completes the sentence. To the answer area, you can manage Microsoft Intune by using the dash. The correct option is Microsoft Endpoint Manager Admin Center. The answer is Microsoft Endpoint Manager. Endpoint Manager combines services you may know and already be using, including Microsoft Intune, Configuration Manager, Desktop Analytics, Co-Management, and Windows Autopilot. These services are part of the Microsoft 365 stack to help secure access, protect data, respond to risk, and manage risk. Question 29. Hotspot. Select the answer that correctly completes the sentence. To the answer area, dash a file makes the data in the file readable and usable to viewers that have the appropriate key. The correct option is encrypting. In the question, it says to viewers that have the appropriate key. So, keyword is the word key. Encryption is a means of securing digital data using one or more mathematical techniques along with a password or key used to decrypt the information. Decryption is a process that transforms encrypted information into its original format. To do this, parties to a private conversation use an encryption scheme called an algorithm and the keys to encrypt and decrypt messages. Question 30. Hotspot. Select the answer that correctly completes the sentence. To the answer area, when users sign in to the Azure portal, they are first. The correct option is authenticated. Authentication is who you say you are. Authorization is what permission do you have.